not hate to say that we were kidnapped and brought here. It's true. It's not hate to say that we were Jim Crow, discriminated and segregated. It's true.
Our problem has been, as black people, we've always been concerned about white America, never about...
I can't be a pessimist because I'm alive. To be a pessimist means that you have agreed that human life is an academic matter.
We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary. And you're going to have to keep on saying that.
Thank you for tuning in. Brian, HRap B. Williams. This is the End of the Bench Media, and this is 15 Minutes with HRap. Today, I have an interesting program for you. You already know it is thank you to my parents, Dolores and John. Without them, there is no me. Without me, you would be doing something else right now. But now I thank you for doing what you're doing. But as you're doing what you're doing, I need you to hit that like button, please. Please hit that like button. It's important. Or you can always watch on www.thaendofdabench.com. As a matter of fact, let me put it on the screen that way I won't mess it up anymore. www.thaendofdabench.com. There it is, right on the screen. It is important that you do that. Hit like. More importantly, I need you to hit like, and then I want you to, did I say it? Hit like once again. It's important. So with that being said, again, thank you. I'll do what I'm going to do every day. I do this every day. I want to give you a little information that I think will enhance your day, enhance your mental state, and enhance our community. And we'll give you a piece of history. And I'll close out with a little semi-rant, and then we're going to keep it going. That way you get what you need, and then you go about your business. Thank you for tapping in again. Like, thumbs up, and especially thaendofdabench.com, and get ready for Black Friday. Get well Wednesday, Thrive Thursday, Black Friday. That's how we do it every day. Today is Turn Up Tuesday, because I'm turned up about some things. I'm upset about the way things are being represented. And remember, always remember the video that I'm going to show you. It is a portion. You can always go to my website or use my man Country Boy at One Mic History on YouTube. Subscribe to him as well. It is definitely enhancing One Mic History. I'm gonna show you the clip. I will give you the information, and then I'm out of here like last year. Thank you again. Now, what I want you to do is understand. We are Black people in the United States of America and Black people worldwide. Shout out to the people in South Africa. Shout out to the people. Let me look at this information. I wrote it down because I always forget. When I look at countries, I have so many things on my mind. I got 3 new countries that tapped in, and I really want to thank them for tapping in, because without them and you, I'm just a dude talking to himself. So here we go. Got to get this information. Give me a second. Work with your boy. Geography. And I want to shout out to the people in New Zealand, Australia, and South Africa. Thank you, guys. Greatly appreciate it. Back to the main thing, being the main thing. Look, here's the deal. We are in the United States of America, and as Black people today, and Black people worldwide, everybody in the diaspora, we have no room to make other people comfortable, white folks to be specific. Let's just be honest. I'm not going other people. Everybody trying to make white people comfortable. We cater to them. We diss each other to fit in, and we make ourselves look like complete fools. We are the global majority. We are the majority of the people in the United States of America as a collective group. You can categorize one group as white, but they don't. The Greeks don't call themselves white. The Italians, the Germans, so forth and so on. They don't call themselves white. So if we're going to be do it by culture, which everybody else does, we're the largest population in the United States of America. We only make up 13% of the population. Lies, and more lies. Because if you're going to categorize it white and everybody else, then yeah. But if you're going to categorize the way everybody else does, nationality versus nationalism is we're all the citizens of the United States. But people don't do it that way. That's why they ask your race on job interviews, on job applications. So if we're going to do it that way, when we're going to go race, we're the largest race in the United States of America. Collectively, and there are other groups, like if you want to say Asian people, if you want to say so forth and so on, yeah, we somewhat 13%. If we don't go race, blacker than me, there it is. So that's why I'm coming to this point. Over the weekend, I was offended by one Chris Rock. I was offended by one Jaleel White. I was offended by Stephen A. Smith. And I'm offended with the concept of we must fit into a place that does not want us to fit in. And we do it on a regular basis. And we denigrate each other and embarrass ourselves doing it as such. First, I'm going to start off with one, Chris Rock. Chris Rock has done a series of tap dancing in the last few years. You ever wonder why the community isn't mad that Will Smith slapped the hell out of him in front of the entire world? People got mad where he did it. They didn't get mad because he did it. He did that documentary called Good Hair. There's no such thing as good hair. We have not eat the hair. Our hair is from extremely strong curls to loose curls to no straight hair altogether. That's who we are. We are a myriad of things that comprise the Black community. And there's no such thing as bad hair because your curl is tighter and mine's better because it's loose cuts. Again, it's more white adjacent. That don't make it better. It just make it easier to manage in your perspective. So when you did that, Chris, you embarrassed us. Second thing, you sitting around with Louis C.K., Ricky Gervais, and it took the homie Jerry Seinfeld to tell you that the N-word ain't cool to be thrown around in the room full of white folks. How is it that you grew up in Brooklyn, New York? How is it that you made millions of dollars off a television series showing that you got terrorized in a mixed school being bused into a predominantly white institution of learning and that traumatized you? But now it's cool for people to denigrate you and with the worst word in the history of the English language. Do I say it? Of course I do. Am I eradicating it and erasing it from my dialect? And again, equally strong, I am. But what I do want you to understand is this, Chris. You are an embarrassment to our community because you continue to cater. Someone videoed you catering and tap dancing to a group full of white folks, and now you're mad about it. Don't get mad. You got exposed because guess what? If you show this video to President Trump, President Biden, President Obama, or any other guys who've been president, I'm gonna say so. If you show anything I've ever done, you can put a video or anything I've ever done in the history of my life on TV. I'm going to say, your point. That's why if you're embarrassed, if you're angered by people exposing what you're doing, maybe you shouldn't be doing it, no matter what it is. Now, if you don't want your private life and your intimate life in front of the world, of course you don't. But this ain't intimate. This is you making, it's one thing to make fun of us so we all collectively can laugh. But when you present the Black community or Black culture or anything that connects directly or points directly to us in front of other people to laugh at and not laugh with, that, my friend, I have a problem. Next on the docket is my man Jaleel White, formerly identified as the guy who played Steve Urkel. I don't believe his acting career has taken off the way he's wanted it to. Guess what, bro? That's what happened when you're on a show that for an extended period of time. You're on a show for an extended period of time. In the mid-'80s, if you studied your craft, in the mid-'80s, Eddie Murphy made fun of Ron Howard, who's no longer in front of the camera, he's behind the camera. Teased him and called him Opie Cunningham because at that point we knew him as Opie Taylor and Richie Cunningham. Oh no, I'm Ron Howard. No, you're Opie Cunningham. And guess what? You got the same issue. Look, everybody sees you as Urkel, and you tried to conflate the fact that your show was bland and vanilla. Look, people loved it. Some people enjoyed it. I watched it occasionally. I enjoyed what I saw. But no, you're not going to categorize all Black thing, everything and entertainment that Black people like. You're going to sit in front of the world. And again, I do believe you guys are trying to kiss up so people say, oh, he's not like them, and pick you and put you back in the spotlight. Sorry, bro. It's a good chance that that portion of your life is over. Or you may get something tonight. It may be some cooking tomorrow that you're going to be on the Jaleel White show and everybody loves you again. But as of this very moment, the time I'm on air right now, nobody's checking for you like that. So you don't have to denigrate other things in the culture to say the people in the culture only like hood stuff, and you reference Martin and you reference Living Single. No, sir. Guess what? It was this show called New York Undercover about police officers, a single dad taking care of his son and going through the rigors of being an undercover police officer. Guess what? We love that show in the culture. What's hood about being a cop? We ain't had no issue with that. The aforementioned Living Singles. It wasn't a darn thing about Living Singles that was hood. You had a Khadijah, played by Queen Latifah, on a magazine. You had Regine was a buyer in a high-end store in New York City. Her cousin Sinclair, played by, it don't make a difference who they was played by. Sinclair was her executive assistant. You had Kyle, a financial expert. You had I can't think of her name. What her name? Gosh, yeah, such a sexy. Erica Alexander playing the role of an attorney. What was hood about that? Look, man, at the end of the day, nobody wants to call you out, but I'm gonna do it, bro. You was cooning and tap dancing, man, making funny noises, snorking, pull your pants up to your waist. That ain't no nerd culture. That's buffoon culture. You are not a nerd. You are a buffoon, and there are a bunch of intelligent people on television represented by black people that are not buffooning and cooning. You know who you were? You're the reason the late, great Esther Roll and the late, great John Amos left Good Times, because they wouldn't allow JJ to mature, because there ain't nobody in the history of Chicago, at least I'm from Chicago. I've been all over this country. I ain't never seen nobody say dynamite in the middle of a damn conversation. They were cooning on that show a lot of the times. But you know what? The difference in your show, the difference in A Different World, Dwayne Wayne, a math genius, AKA nerd. Everybody loved Dwayne Wayne, and he got the cute girl just like you did. Guess what, bro? Wasn't nothing hood about the Cosby Show. Wasn't nothing hood about A Different World. And I could go on and on and on. By the way, you mentioned Martin. Martin was a television show host, a radio show host. Tommy looked like a professional. We always joke, well, Tommy didn't have no job, but he mentioned a job. Cole worked at the airport. Gina and Pam were executives. What was hood about that? They lived in the hood. They lived in the community. And there's some things about Martin that people have issues with. But guess what, bro? When you talk about the Fresh Prince, they talked about when Ben Vereen was his dad and got shunned. They talked about love. They talked about life. You talked about having HIV. Remember the HIV episode on A Different World with Whoopi Goldberg and Tisha Campbell? Remember that? What did you guys talk about? Nothing. You could have swapped out Family House and anything in white culture right with your show, and it would have been the exact same. So you didn't focus on the hood, and now you want the hood to embrace you. You ain't got to denigrate and diss nothing that we did or the culture did, because you're not embraced. You were a clown on most of your shows. Sorry, bro. Look at Such an Entertainment Show. That show been on about 5-6 years. It's very entertaining, and it ain't nothing hood. It ain't nothing ghetto and hood about it. As a matter of fact, Such an Entertainment didn't want white folks in his neighborhood. That's the premise of that show. So please stop, Jaleel. We ain't feeling you like that in the hood. We don't really rock with you like that in the hood. So guess what? You could just say, hey man, people didn't embrace me and I wish they could. But instead, what you did was denigrate people in our culture, try to run down us because you don't have the success that you want. STBY. Sucks to be you, homie. But y'all gonna stop that. I'm gonna show you this thing about how we don't have to consistently mix ourselves in. We had opportunities. The next 2 days it'll be showing you opportunities in regards to Black history, opportunities that show you that, hey, we do our own thing when we have an opportunity to do our own thing instead of trying to integrate. And you know what? This is spur of the moment. I want to mention something. Dr. Umar Johnson, no disrespect to Dr. Umar Johnson, but he was on Joe Budden podcast, and he mentioned how Dr. King gets a bad rep for integration. No, like he said, Dr. King spoke up for equal opportunity. Integration was a bastard child of Dr. King's opportunity, of his requirement of opportunity. It was a dude on there that tried to say civil rights is about being civil to white people. First of all, I don't know his name because I don't watch Joe Budden. But dude, you one of the dumbest people I've ever seen on TV. Civil rights, civil in regards to civil rights is short for civilian. You dumbass. Don't you ever say nothing that stupid on a international platform. You sound like a damn fool. I didn't watch it enough to know if they corrected you or not, but you're a damn fool for saying that. And back to being dope and black. I'm going to play you this video. I only show you a portion of it. Go to www, like you see on the bottom of the screen, thaendofdabench.com. Check out my website and check out the videos that I don't have on there for Black History, because me and the dude who does these, his name is Country Boy on One Mic History. He got One Mic History 1 and 2. Check this out. I'll be back shortly. Country Boy will educate you, and I will be back.
In 1923, amidst the turbulent tides of Jim Crow, a visionary project was born, a small inlet off the coast of North Carolina, Shell Island Black Resort. This oasis stood as a beacon of hope, a sanctuary that promised to defy racial segregation until one day it mysteriously burned to the ground. So today, join us while we talk about the mysterious burning of the Shell Island Black Resort. And if you like stories like this, you can find more stories like this at onemichistory.com. But without further ado, let's get started. For Black residents in Wilmington, the desire for recreational spaces was not new. In light of the lead up to Shell Island's inception, they faced systemic exclusion from beaches along North Carolina's coast. Repeated petitions for access to Wrightsville Beach and attempts to establish segregated beach havens were met with persistent denial. Behind these refusals laid thinly veiled prejudice masked as claims of potential property devastation. As Wilmington historian Mark Valentella articulated, local property owners would argue that it was going to make their property values go down, but they just didn't want to be in proximity to Black folks. In the early 20th century, the Shell Island Resort emerged as a symbol of progress and unity, attempting to challenge social norms of the era. This ambitious project was spearheaded.
And as you see, extremely interesting, extremely informative, and beneficial. We need to be showing our significant others, friends, family, and children, grandchildren, and nieces, nephews, and cousins these things. Go to www.thaendofdabench.com, check it out, or you can stay on YouTube. Go to One Mic History. Y'all heard his name, Country Boy. He does excellent work. But if you really like me, go to my website, watch through there. Country Boy gonna get the credit. I'm gonna get the credit for a visit, and we all get happy. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe. I'm gonna close out today with the attack on one Stephen A. Smith. I'm sick of him. I am sick of him. Look, we continue to whore ourselves out with mentions of, hey man, he getting that paper though. He getting the bag. Look, at the bag, you get the bag, but at what cost? People always say money is the root of all evil. Clearly shows that you didn't read the Bible, that you got that from. It is the love of money is the root of all evil. Stop regurgitating things that from people who you think are intelligent people. I mean, he's smart, so I'm gonna believe him because he's smart. You don't even have to check. You don't have to agree, not check the stuff that I do, because guess what? I'm here to help. I'm not here to lay down law. Everything you hear me say, you can check, and you will be able to substantiate everything I say, because I don't shoot from the hip. I ain't guessing. I do my research, and I put in a lot of work to assess my community. Back to the point. Yesterday, it was a report came out about the January 6th insurrection. And for whatever reason, my people, who I'm always speaking to, I speak to the entire collective of humanity, but I speak to Black people first and foremost. We have an issue with listening to the half of the truth. We hear a portion. What we do is called subjective hearing. We listen until we hear something that is triggering, and then we have confirmation bias, the bias that we already have before we hear the facts. We are listening to that, and then what we end up doing is saying, see, I knew that's what it was. Sorry, that's not what it was. Look, Stephen A. Smith went on a rant with literally millions of people listening to him, and he said that the insurrection didn't happen. So we're going to believe Stephen A.'s mouth instead of our lying ass eyes, right? Okay, no, we're not. We saw January 6th 4 years ago, or 3.9 years ago, because it's always somebody technical. It was a little longer than 3 years, but almost 4 years ago, we saw an insurrection. We saw a group of white folks and a few others sprinkled in attack the Capitol and try to change the basis of the election. Well, according to the FBI, according to Stephen A., there was an FBI report about the FBI that the FBI had 28 confidential informants there, 17 of which ran inside the Capitol building. And he say, see, this proves it wasn't no insurrection. And then he air quoted insurrection. Boy, you sound like a damn fool. All you have to do is simply watch one episode of Law & Order, or hell, if you're old enough, watch one episode of Starsky and Hutch, and you see Huggy Bear tell Starsky and Hutch what happened. Every cop show in the history of cop shows has a confidential informant, a person in the midst of the crime or the criminal element. To keep the police off him, he snitches. That's the whole concept of stop snitching. Look, man, stop it, Stephen. That was an insurrection. People did break those laws, and you can't trick us, because what you're trying to do, Mr. Smith, is this. You're trying to maintain your white audience and then curry favor with the new administration. And then you want to get hood when you turn to sports and speak up for HBCUs. But guess what, bro? A lot of us don't even go to college. A lot of people in America don't go to college. So yeah, I don't want to hear that, and then I guarantee y'all, mark my words, the people who support me and you watch sports, mark my words, within the next 2 weeks, it will be a day called Black Monday. That's the day a lot of NFL coaches get fired at the end of the year. And then it will be this conversation right out of Mr. Smith's mouth about how it ain't enough black coaches getting hired. What's wrong with that, right? Nothing wrong with it. But guess what? One William Belichick, a.k.a. my main man, Bill Belichick, I like him. So if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. My man Bill Belichick got a job at North Carolina. And then I ain't see no black candidates, and I ain't hear ESPN say a word about it. All I heard ESPN talk about was the fact that, is he good enough for it? Guess what? If you question if he good enough for it, if you're questioning the fact that he's going to get it, he has zero experience, I guarantee you somewhere in America there's a black assistant coach that could have taken that job and done equally as well and related to the young people easier. But y'all didn't say that. So please miss me, and at the end of the football season, when these coaches start getting fired, miss me. 2 words, miss me. With the BS about black coaches. Y'all don't want to do it. We need to, like I told y'all a couple last week in episode, what was that episode? Episode 18 or something like that, episode 15. Y'all need to give me some go ahead on with that BS about how y'all want to look out for the black coaches. No, sir. No, y'all don't. It's a way to maintain the black audience and keep us at bay. Hey, you keep them at bay. You keep them at bay. Keep them at bay, and then they ain't gonna really realize that we duping them into the nonsense. I ain't trying to hear it anymore. Stephen A. Smith, look, you do your job, but you're not gonna represent my community with the ridiculousness anymore. You are fake. You're a fraud, and I've had enough. I'm just making sure that my people who support me and the people who they're gonna listen to realize that you are a fraud. You are a fraud, my friend. I don't want to hear it anymore. And I'm changing. The reason I'm not focused on the show because I was changing the title of the show because I didn't put episode 18. I'm about to end it. This your man, HRap. Y'all already know. See y'all on wonderful Wednesday. Tomorrow, I'll be back. 2 fingers, 1 word. I'm HRap B, and I.
And it is necessary for those people who rule over us and who rule over African people the world over, if those people are to stay in power, they must destroy our ability to love each other in a healthy sort of way. This is why